Cheating doesn't strike like lightning. It creeps in like smoke through a cracked window, slow, quiet, but deadly. And by the time you notice, it's already in your lungs. This isn't about paranoia, this is about patterns. The ones you noticed but couldn't name. The ones that whisper when everything else is silent. If you've felt that ache, the tightness in your chest that says, "She's slipping," this video is for you. Let's cut the fantasy. Cheating doesn't announce itself. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It creeps. And it starts long before she ever touches another man. It begins in the silence, in the shift, in the distance that shows up without reason. Most men miss it, not because they're blind, but because they don't want to see. But a Stoic man, he doesn't run from the truth. He studies it. He tracks it. And when the signs start showing, he doesn't call them phases. He calls them what they are. A woman who cheats never does it cleanly. She leaves fingerprints on your peace, your routines, your gut. You notice the little changes, the moments that used to matter, now the habits that used to feel sacred, now forgotten. You still see her every day. She says, "Good morning," but she doesn't look up. You ask how she's doing. She says, "I'm fine," but it lands like a script, not a truth. There's a shift, a quiet one. Stoics feel it first. She's present, but her soul has wandered somewhere else. The laughter that once filled the room now sounds rehearsed. The smile she gives you is polite, not joyful. You crack a joke, she responds, but it's not real. It's the kind of smile you give a stranger in an elevator. She tells you she's tired, that work's been a lot, that she needs space. But those aren't answers. They're delays, tactics, words designed to buy time, not build connection. And deep down, not because you're overthinking, but because you're observant. A Stoic man doesn't ignore his instincts. He listens when the rhythm changes. He feels when love becomes labor, when presence becomes performance. Because when a woman's emotional currency is being spent elsewhere, what's left for you isn't real. It's rationed. Just enough to keep things normal. Just enough to keep you from asking questions. Just enough to make you think you're imagining it. You're not insecure. You're not paranoid. You're paying attention. And what you're seeing is the corrosion of intimacy. Quiet, subtle, but undeniable. If you stay silent, if you convince yourself it's a phase, you'll start disappearing too, not from her life, but from your own sense of worth. That's how betrayal begins, not with lies, but with the slow death of truth. She starts hiding in plain sight. She doesn't yell, she doesn't storm off. She just gets quiet, selectively. You used to know everything, the small things, what she had for lunch, a weird dream, an annoying coworker. Now her life has compartments and you don't have the key. She still talks, but only when it's safe. Only when it fits the version of herself she wants you to see. Then comes the phone. It used to be a forgotten object. Left on the bed, on the table, now it's always in her hand. Face down, notifications silenced, turned away when she types. You didn't ask for her password. You didn't accuse her of anything, but somehow she's already on the defense. And if you question it, she flips it, says you're paranoid, says you're controlling. But a Stoic man knows. Truth doesn't fear observation. Love that's honest doesn't hide behind privacy. Peace doesn't plant suspicion and call it your fault. This isn't about control. It's about contrast between who she was and who she's becoming. Open has turned to guarded, expressive to careful. That's not growth, that's concealment. And concealment always has a reason. Cheating doesn't begin with a kiss. It begins with a locked door in a house you used to have full access to. It starts with the erasure of details, the silence where connection used to live. And the most manipulative part, she'll make you doubt yourself before she ever lets you question her. Then the intimacy changes. Her body stays, but her presence doesn't. You share a bed, but it no longer feels like home. The warmth is gone, the rhythm off. There's something between you now, something invisible. Some nights she turns away in silence. Other nights she initiates, but it feels off. Too intense, too sudden, too performative. You're left wondering which is worse. The silence that makes you feel unwanted, or the passion that feels like it's meant for someone else. When a woman cheats, emotionally or physically, her intimacy with you will change, always. It may vanish, or it may mutate, but it never stays the same. Because true intimacy requires presence. And when her heart is elsewhere, your body feels that absence. You feel it in the way she touches you without emotion, the way she kisses like a ghost, the way you feel borrowed, not cherished. You bring it up. She tells you you're imagining things, that she's just tired, that you're being sensitive, but you're not. You're paying attention because sex, when real, is a language, and the language has changed. It's no longer fluent, it's scripted, and here's the truth. A woman cannot share her body with you while her soul belongs to someone else. Pretending it's the same is self-betrayal, and the longer you ignore it, the more you lose yourself trying to preserve what's already fading. Then come the arguments, not loud ones, not real ones, just tension out of nowhere. You forget to text her back, and now you don't care. You leave a dish in the sink, and now you never listen. You give a simple answer, and now she's questioning your tone. At first, you try to fix it. You apologize for things that don't make sense. You replay conversations looking for what you missed. But it's not about the dish or the text or the tone. It's displacement. She's not fighting with you. She's fighting her own guilt. And guilt, when unspoken, demands distance. So she creates it through conflict, because if you're the problem, she's not the villain. If you're cold, distant, careless, then stepping out isn't betrayal, it's self-care. That's the narrative. And once she believes it, she'll try to make you believe it too. And if you don't catch it, you'll spend your time fixing a version of yourself that only exists in her excuses. A Stoic man sees through that. He doesn't argue in a war he didn't start. He doesn't defend himself against fiction, because the goal isn't resolution, it's justification. And when conflict becomes camouflage, the only way to win is to stop playing. And finally, she stops including you in her future. This is the quietest sign. There's no fight, no cold shoulder, just small edits in her language. She used to say, "When we get a place, now it's, I've been thinking of moving." She used to dream aloud with you. Now she dreams alone, healing, growing, evolving, but never with you. Your name disappears from the map she's drawing, not because of what you did, but because she's already halfway gone. And here's what breaks most men. She won't ask you to leave. She'll just make sure you stop feeling at home. You ask why she's distant. She says you're being dramatic, that you're insecure, that you're overthinking. But you're not. You're noticing. People don't fantasize about leaving unless part of them already has. First emotionally, then mentally, then physically. By the time she tells you she's confused, it's not a question, it's a confirmation. She's been rehearsing her exit, and every "I just need space" was a countdown, not a request. Every day you stayed hoping for warmth, she was adjusting to the cold. That's why the hugs feel mechanical. That's why the eye contact disappears. That's why your presence feels tolerated, not treasured. She's not unsure. She's already gone. She's just making sure you don't leave before she's ready. But a grounded man doesn't beg. He doesn't chase. He doesn't sit quietly in a space where he's being emotionally evicted. Because dignity isn't loud. It just walks away while the other person still thinks they're in control. Let's make one thing clear. Cheating doesn't begin in the bedroom. It begins in the silence, in the erased details, in the "I'm fine" that doesn't feel fine. It begins when affection is rationed, and you convince yourself it's still enough. A woman doesn't cheat the day she's with another man. She cheats the day she disconnects from you and chooses not to come back. The signs were there. You just kept calling them phases. But a Stoic man doesn't chase illusions. He doesn't argue with energy that's already gone, and he never begs for a seat at a table where he's no longer being served. Because once you abandon your self-respect to keep someone close, you've already lost more than the relationship. You've lost yourself. And if she had to betray you to find herself, she was never really yours. If this spoke to your gut, if it cleared the fog you've been pretending isn't there, comment clarity. Because clarity isn't pain, it's freedom. And if you're done guessing, doubting, and second-guessing your instincts, subscribe. Because around here, we don't chase shadows, we sharpen minds, and we never fear the truth.